Listen, get to your phone lines. Call me at 855-55. Wait, Jeff, I'm going to need you to settle down. We got a special segment for you. Jeff is having a ball right now. 855-878-4652 is the number to dial if you want to participate. Let's get to it right now. I'm back. All right. Right at the top.
But is there something inside that does...
I love that record. I love the way you rock your chocolate. Truth. CD, baby. Go find it. Really quickly, we have a lot of weed products.
Yes, Lord.
And we had to defer to our resident weedaholic, Geoff Brown.
That would be me.
Jeffrey?
Yes, sir.
Speak to us.
First, let's start with the detractors from weed who might be listening to the show. Do you know the difference between weed and water? You can drink enough water to kill you. You can't smoke enough weed to kill you because weed is not an intoxicant. That's why you can't get intoxicated smoking weed. It's not an intoxicant. Weed is from God, okay? The devil is in the bottle. Jesus is in the bong. And if you smoke enough, he'll come play dominoes with you. I've seen it. He cheats because he knows where the big six is every time. How do you get the big six every time, Lord? I have a problem with you over that. But that said, the genie is literally out of the bottle. The ignorance behind marijuana that has been appalled over this nation for a blink, because cannabis has been around, has been used for over 10,000 years. The blink that it has been maligned, it's beginning to fade. People are beginning to understand that the same people who tell you that weed is bad also tell you that aspartame is good.
Enough of your soapbox preaching for the God weed. Now, we have some products here. Jeff?
Yes, sir?
Since you're a resident weedaholic,
yes, sir.
Would you use weed tea?
Yes. Yes, why would I not?
Oh, okay. I shouldn't even ask you what you...
Okay,
how do you use this stuff?
How?
This is 180 milligrams.
And I'm new.
I will die if I ate... I've never smoked or drank or did anything like that.
One, get that out of your head. You will not die if you see. You will see.
I'm going to ask Ann.
You will see relatives that have died.
Right. Well, I'm trying to help out. I'm trying to help out Jeff here because I think Jeff has had an experience that we don't want to repeat. So there are some great benefits.
That has happened.
Right. You know, maybe there are people out there who are concerned about smoking weed. They don't want to be, inhaling it. And there are all different ways to get the benefits of cannabis, but you need to do it intelligently.
Absolutely.
And with some important information. I understand that you had an experience that was maybe not so positive. So we're going to go over some ways to avoid that.
Oh, what happened?
Really quickly.
Okay. From the cliff notes of what happened to me. Okay. Just started smoking weed about summer before last. I do a favor for a friend who makes brownies. He goes, wow, man, thank you so much. Here's one, usually charge about $30 for. You can have it for free. Now beware. Take a corner of a corner. So I go, all right, I'm going to take a corner of a corner. Usually takes about 6 minutes and 47 seconds for weed to hit me. 6 minutes and 47 seconds goes by, nothing. I go, well, maybe all the THC is on the other side. So I take another corner of a corner. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, nothing. I said, you know what, I'm going to take half. So I took half, and at the halfway part, my grandmama, my Uncle Junior, my Uncle Clifford, Jesus, all dead, all came around and said, look here.
Stop it.
Stop.
Put that down.
And they visited me for about a day and a half.
Now, really quickly, I have something called Cannabis Quencher. It looks like a Snapple or some type of fruit juice. You cannot chug this, right?
No. So we're talking, 75 milligrams.
That game was right.
Here.
That's bad. Don't do that.
Yes, this will change up your game, but not in the way that Gatorade is promising to do.
So you sip this like an alcoholic beverage.
And you have to wait. Jeff, you got to be patient.
They that wait upon the Lord. Yeah.
Yes.
So really quickly,
come to those who wait.
So really quickly,
to an hour.
all of these products, the cookies, the tea, all of this stuff is made by VCC brands. You can find these at your local dispensary. You can follow Cannabis Quenchers or Quencher and the 420 Bar on Instagram at 420 Bar at Cannabis Quencher. Now, gotta move quickly.
Can I talk about the dangers of the cannabis?
No, we cannot. You've had enough. You've had enough. Okay. We brought all of this stuff in for Geoff. We have, ladies and gentlemen, please, I need your attention. You're not high yet. We have a 2-time Olympian. I mean, I'm a fan of this woman. I mean, we could bag her up and put her in little chocolate drops right here. Jesus. Listen, but she's like most of our people. Multi-talented. Right. Right? I'm an Olympian, you know, gold medal, you know, I do what I do, you know, that's in the back. Oh, that right there, you know, yeah. But she also sings, and I saw a video. Chris, do we have a video? Let's see the video of Siobhan Stoddard. Yes. Oh, beautiful girl. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah.
If you don't propose right now,
I have to. I don't even think Jesus Christ. What's your birthday?
November.
November what?
21st.
Sagittarius! Listen, we jump in the room.
Scorpio.
She's a Scorpio.
This is awesome. Anyway, let me get focused.
And she in shape too.
The record is awesome. Where can my people find it right now?
You can go to SiobhanStoddard.com and you can purchase the song today. It's SHEVONSTODDART.com.
And the name of the song is?
Hot Girl.
And it ain't live. It ain't never live.
Ain't like Gabrielle Sidibe came out with a song called Hot Girl.
Precious.
Can I tell the truth? Can I tell the truth and shame the devil? All right.
No, really. Tell us what. First off, you guys have to cash mob this record, because let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. This sister, all jokes aside, this sister is an Olympian. They don't get a lot of free money. No. They have to raise money.
They got to hustle.
They got to hustle that bread, right? Yes. In order to make it to the Olympics. So, as you guys know, this is about Cash Mob Monday. Everything I promote, I'm asking you to go out and cash mob it. Listen, she runs for the Jamaican team. Now, I just watched the Jamaican team just cuz. I don't give a damn if they win or lose. No. The ladies? Are you kidding me? Lord. Just cuz. Now, we got to go out and support Siobhan Stoddard. How do they do that? How do they just support you?
Definitely, if you can go on my site, SiobhanStoddard.com, and you can purchase the record. You know, when you purchase the record, it helps me towards my preparation for the gold at sale.
Done. The website again is?
It's SiobhanStoddard.com, SHEVONSTODDART.
I'm finna go
and the record is hot too, so let's buy the record, let's cash mob her, let's get her in position so we can root for her. Jesus.
Use this credit card I just found outside.
Okay, great, excellent. We got Veronica Conway and who do we have? Veronica VC. Okay, if we don't have her, give me Elephant right now. Excellent. We got Veronica. Hey, turn your life down. Your life is loud. Veronica. There's my guy. What's up, man? He look like you look like you seen a ghost. What's happening?
He look like he had some of this cannabis quencher.
Listen, this brother right here has a high-end tailored clothing line. This is Elephant out of New York.
Oh, New York.
When I tell you this brother's stuff is incredible.
Fly, bruh.
You like polo? This dude Taylor makes it all himself.
And never sell it, please, okay? If you don't do like Carl Kanai and you sell it and then 18 months later your shit's in Marshalls.
Jesus.
Don't do that.
No, his stuff is incredible. Let me tell you what Elephant represents. LFANT. Live free above negative thinking. Man, their clothing line is incredible. If you like polo, Ralph Lauren, you got to get with them. Brother, tell me where they can find your product right now.
Well, we're online, elephantnyc.com. We're at several stores here in New York City. We're global pretty much. We're in Japan, England, soon to be at Saks, Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
Nationwide, and we're in a lot of places, but the main place to go is elephantnyc.com online. Our online store is lovely, beautiful product, cut and sew, everything.
Don't be scared now just because you on Skype. You see, he's scared.
Right.
I talk to this brother all the time, man, and I'm very, honored to support his brand because it ain't no cheap stuff.
No, it ain't.
Right? It ain't no shabby swap meet knockoff brand.
The killer stuff you wearing.
Yeah, he sent me a couple of shirts, a couple of sweaters, and it's like, it's high end, it's gorgeous.
Yes.
And we got to support this. Cash Mob Monday, Elephant. Sydney, I appreciate you taking the time to reach out to us, brother. I'm going to call you after the show, all right?
Right on, bro. Appreciate you, man.
All right, brother. Deuces! Do we have Veronica Conway or not?
Nah. Where you at?
Veronica?
Hey, it's Veronica.
Hey,
You better rattle it off quick, honey. Let's go.
Okay. I'm just trying to get in. So, just real quick, doing another boot camp here in April. Just heard from a guy that did the one that you were in, so Corey was struggling to charge $1,500 back in November for his stuff. He closed $300,000 in our boot camp, and now he's on track to do like $50 million over the course of the next several years. So the boot camp works. If you guys want a business that makes real money, email me at veronicaconway.com because we're going to go make money.
There it is. Where's your guy? Is he on too?
Dan has been trying to call. I'll tell him to keep calling.
All right, do that. Good stuff. All right. Once again, Zowup Morning Show and Relationship Dismount Book Tour. You got to get to my Indiegogo. We've only got 18 days left, and then it's done. The newest, hottest relationship book is about to hit the streets. The Relationship Dismount. How to Stick the Landing When Leaving a Negative Relationship. It is the consummate breakup book. 12 chapters, right? 12 chapters with exercises at the end. This book is bananas.
Breakup exercises?
Breakup exercises. Who would have thought?
All right, right? Get in there and start for a breakup drill.
So, with that said, I got on somebody's shades. Whose shades are these? They're called Binos. You can find this brother on Facebook. Go to his Facebook page. There's very nice shades. He sent them to me in this very classy, case and all.
Bino.
It's all really nicely. The Bino shades from the brother on Facebook.
Bino.
Hopefully he can get his little website up and we can continue to promote it. Listen, we gotta go. But when we come back,
I will have eaten all this.
You already know. Topics and guests. Oh, by the way, Weed Juice. Support Weed Juice. We out. I'll see you in a moment. Deuces.
Why is a white guy like me co-hosting a black radio show? I think toxic relationships cause you to take poor care of yourself. That if you can recognize danger, if you can pause, if you can take some breaths, refocus, and engage, you might be able to dodge a bullet that you're going to send or coming towards you. One of the things that men don't get is that often women need to vent first to clear their mind. How many of you know what the term bait and switch is? You know what bait and switch means?
I've heard of it, yes.
God, we have all these white terms and black terms. We got to get together.
I know what bait and switch means.
Now, what does bait and switch mean?
That means I bring you in on one thing, and then when you think you're getting that other thing, bam, I bring hey man, come on over here. I'm gonna sell you this dime bag of weed. Bam, you get there, it's crack.
Okay, all right.
So bait and
Thanks,
switch,
Jeff.
Because the topic today is that there's a lot of women out there who bait and switch men. So to bait them, they'll get them all turned on by dressing sexy, and then suddenly they want you. I want you to respect me. I don't want you to see me as an object. Now it's kind of a problem because if you're a woman, if you don't sexy yourself up, no one's going to notice you. But what you don't realize is that when you sexy yourself up, the guy is not looking at you as anything other than someone he wants to jump onto. And suddenly in his mind, that's all you are. And then suddenly when you say, but I want you to respect me, I want you to actually listen to me and hear what I say. Years ago, I saw a woman, someone said, you got to see my girlfriend because on a scale of 1 to 10, she's a 12. And I said, and he said, I'm divorcing her. I said, why are you divorcing her? She's too perfect. And so she came in, and I got to tell you, on a scale of 1 to 10, she was a 12. And I got to admit, it was great just looking at her. And then when I realized, she said, you know, I am here in the world to make insecure men look good. And I'm not even allowed to have an identity. I am a showpiece. And nobody, as soon as people see me, I know what the men want to do, and the women are just so jealous. You gonna try some of that, Jeff? We got some.
Go ahead, man. I'm right here with you. The men are so. I'm here to make insecure men look good, and the women are so jealous. I'm with him. I'm with him.
So anyway, to finish up, it's a challenge because, you know, unless you get someone's interest, and a lot of guys, they're visual, and so that what they see and they start to fantasize, and then suddenly you say, no, I don't want you to act out on that fantasy. I want you to respect me. I don't want you to see me as a thing. And it's not easy. I mean, it's not easy for the men or the women. I mean, because it's not easy for the woman because I can understand not wanting to be someone you're just jerking off into. And,
wow.
And I can see that for the guy, well, geez, you know, you had me hooked on all these things, and now you want me to treat you differently. So we're going to find out about that. We're going to drill down on that today and see if we can get some answers or more questions.
And, you know, we did this topic on the Dash Radio platform with a panel of women. And, of course, all of the women spoke of sexual empowerment, but there's a double standard, I believe. And Doc touched on it brilliantly. The double standard is don't objectify me, but yet I get to, you know, post pictures with my ass on the bathroom sink. Right? Now, back in the day, in Jeff's day, in Freez's day, and I know in Bobby and Mark's day, you guys had a different term for it, but in my son's day, he's 18 years old, they call the loose woman a thought, which is, of course, is an acronym for that hoe over there. Now, the feminists have a term for it. They call it slut shaming. Right? You shame a girl because of her sexual exploits. Right? Tell me if I'm wrong. A lot of parents have been slut shaming for years, right? You're not going to be no hoe in my house. I done heard that before, right? Told to many a sister. The homie sisters, right? They mama, you ain't going to be no hoe up in here.
Usually too late, but yeah.
Right? But you understand? So today's topic, the rise of the thought. Has freedom of feminine sexuality or sexual expression killed feminine modesty? That is an interesting question. An in-depth look into the culture of slut shaming. This is a real thing. What's your definition of a slut? Let's throw it out there right now. The number to dial is 844-855-878-4652. What's your definition of a slut? Is Amber Rose the perfect spokesperson for slut shaming advocacy? How many, and you know, slut shaming is also related to date rape. This objectification thing, you know, a woman dresses a certain way, they argue, it's not my responsibility for a man's behavior. If I dress a certain way and he rapes me, it's not my fault. And to say it is their fault, to blame them, is to slut shame them. Somebody call me at 855-878-4652. I'm framing this topic up for you. Is slut shaming a kind of sexual assault? And who slut shames more? Men slut shaming women, or women's slut shaming other women? Freez Luv, start us off.
It's to answer that question, women slut shame women way quicker than a man, because a man ain't gonna say nothing. He's just gonna enjoy the view of the slut.
We like her.
He's like, hey, what are you picking on her for? She's probably hot. That's why she's wearing that light little dress. Leave her alone. You know, whereas the woman will say, no, she's wearing that dress because she's a hoe. You know?
Wow.
So I think it's always women. And, you know, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it is definitely women. I remember when I remember one woman in particular, when I was coming up, she told me that women dress for women. Because I was mad. I was like, why does it take so long to get ready? I don't care what you look like. We just going to get a hamburger. She says, no, there's going to be a lot of women there. So I'm going to dress to make sure that these women don't have anything to say about me.
Wow.
You know, I speak at women's conferences. Sometimes I'm the only guy speaking there. And what some women have told me, they said the best people in the world are women, and the worst people in the world are women. And they, and they say the best people, you know, the really good ones, their ego doesn't get the better of them, but the worst ones, they say to other women, they will just knife you, they'll stab you in the back, they will stop at nothing to steal from you.
And you know what? The sad thing is, would we have women that would confirm that? I'm interested to see women that would confirm that statement from Dr. G. The best people in the world are women, and the worst people in the world are women. 855-878-4652 is the number to dial. And follow us on Twitter at Zoe Williams. I will read your tweets during the show. Bobby Glanton, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm still trying to sort them out because I find it kind of hard to call females women. Because I think there's a shortage of women just like there's a shortage of men. There's a whole lot of females, a lot of males out there, and that's why we're coming up with all these subplots right now. Thoughts, and you can call them whatever they want to be called, or whatever's popular this week, it'll be something else next week. But basically, it's behavior in search of an identity, in my estimation. Because I don't know what the hell folks are doing right now that really makes any sense long term, because you look back 5 years from now and say, what the hell was that?
Wow.
You know, this pursuit of what? This chase that everybody's on. You know, I saw an article earlier today where even sisters are getting their butts in hands, and they already got asses. I mean, like, what the hell is going on, man? Right. I'm confused.
Somebody on Twitter just said, if Margot was here, she would say it's men's fault women do crazy shit. Listen, I only ask this question because I have a 15-year-old daughter. And I do these kinds of conversations because how do we mold that mind and get that mind ready to be strong enough to weather all of the bullshit that's out there? Because you may have a friend that's a quote-unquote thought, right? Look at this question. Are multiple one-night stands cause enough for labeling a woman a slut, whether sexually protected or unprotected? Is there no place for slut?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm saying the term. Is slut now the feminine N-word? Jeff?
Well, I want to go back to something that you just brought up with regard to your daughter, if I may make this personal. I think knowing you as a friend and seeing you with your children, and namely your daughter, I think you have a lot less to worry about than you may think that you have to worry about with regard to her outside influences, because a female's chief sexual influence is her father or the absence thereof.
I was going to say, is the father or lack thereof the creator of the thought?
So you don't have as much to worry. Well, look,
or the slut?
I ain't saying every girl that don't know her daddy is a hoe, but every hoe I know don't know her daddy. I'm just gonna go on. So when we get back to the from the break, we are going to discuss exactly what it is that makes, well, I call them hoes, but now that they're thoughts, let's discuss exactly what the makeup of one is.
Yeah.
We'll see you in a minute.
Deuces.
You whore is rude.
Maybe it may be perceived rude, but in the end, I'm trying to get people to change.
So why am I a whore?
It doesn't necessarily mean that you are.
Well, I know the finger's pointing right at me.
Well, have you had premarital sex?
Yeah.
Well, then that would make you, from what the Bible says, a hoe. Oh my God. If a woman dresses provocatively, gets blackout drunk, and is wearing really revealing clothing, then I would say that she is partially responsible for the rape.
I'm sorry to say, but most of your dads are ashamed of you.
With what I do and what I believe as a Christian, a lot of people will think that I'm a homophobe, racist, bigot, all manner of other names that they've probably come up with.
I'd be sharing on the internet. This is definitely one of them. When I was 18, just past my 18th birthday, I was date raped. That is how I lost my virginity. That's my beautiful story about how I was deflowered. For my 18th birthday, one of the girls that I worked with took me to a concert. She bought me concert tickets, and we went with her boyfriend and his roommate. Somewhere through the course of drinking all day and not really eating very much, and kind of feeling pressured to drink because I was not really a drinker. When it was time to leave the concert, I was like beyond inebriated, like stumbling and like slurring my words and like having a hard time. And so clearly I could not drive home. And in retrospect, I don't know if maybe there was like something in my drink, because I've never ever gotten like that post the situation. I black out, like dunzo, like no recollection, was not conscious. It wasn't until the morning that I even realized that I had had sex, and I was just like, wait a second, what happened? This doesn't feel right. And I asked my girlfriend, and she was like, yeah, you totally had sex with him. You are like so bad. I remember feeling like mortified, just thinking like, oh my God, why did this happen to me? I mean, just all of those horrible thoughts going through my head, blaming myself.
Yeah. We're back.
Yeah, she woke up in the wrong zip code.
I just think it's another example of how religion could, turn a sane world insane because of the literal, interpretation of, and it's a literal interpretation of what you think that book means. Yeah. Right? And I just think it's a problem. But my question is, as a father raising a child, is modesty a bad thing? Like when you're teaching a daughter, especially for a daughter. And why is it especially for a daughter? Is there such thing as a male slut? No. See, this is the thing that bothers me about women when it comes to male sexuality. They automatically label it as immature. Well, when you're ready to settle down with just me, when you get mature enough, wait a minute, why would you marginalize masculine sexuality? Masculine sexuality might need several meat wallets in order to satiate itself, right? Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. Men spend a lot of time lying in today's society and culture, right? Lying to fit into the thought process of the woman because that's how you get into her pants, right? So we spend a lot of time lying just so we can get, across the field goal and, get into the end zone. But the reality of it is most of us like multiple women. At some point in our lives, most of us will cross that threshold, and we spend a lifetime lying about it to the one that we chose as the one. So women need to understand this aspect of male sexuality not as immature, but as par for the course. Right? I don't know if men can be sluts or whores. I know men can lie and go against their commitment. So if I commit to you and say, it's you forever, but then I got 7, 8 other girls on the side, then I've broken my commitment to myself and you.
Which makes you weak.
Which makes you weak. Absolutely. Especially if you make that commitment.
If you make, right. See,
but if you tell the truth and say, all of you are on deck.
Right. That's what players do. See, yeah, there's a problem, especially out here in Los Angeles. People don't know exactly what a player is. I'm from Chicago. This is my definition. A player is a dude who can walk into a room and there are more than 2 women that he is sleeping with. They may or may not know each other, but they are all cool with it and they ain't tripping. Now, if a woman walks in a room and it's different than the woman you came with and you sleeping with her and you got to leave the room, you're not a player. You're a liar. You lying to somebody about how you get down, and players never lie. You shouldn't have to lie.
Well, let's not call it a player. Let's just say a real man. Because I think Bobby brought up a great point when he made the distinction between a woman and a female. And Bobby also has a great distinction between a man and a male. Bobby, can you share that?
Well, I like to preface it by saying the downfall of too many men is the upkeep of too many women, whether you plan or whatever.
Hit him again!
It's just physically, you get to a point in your life where you're fooling yourself.
Right.
All right. Exactly. You really are, because, and in the worst kind of way. When you're young, that's understandable. All that testosterone is just what it is.
Yeah.
But by the time you reach middle age, you ought to be thankful that you can continue to sustain a healthy lifestyle sexually. But if you think you're going to be able to satisfy 7, 8 women on a regular basis, you're fooling yourself. And you're setting somebody up for catastrophe. I'm not saying you got to be with one person, but you better be kind of reducing the lineup a little bit by the time you get to be middle aged.
And then the differentiation between female and woman and male and man. Could you give us that?
You got too much to do. If you're a man, by the time you're in your 40s, man, you got stuff to do. It's time to legacy build. I mean, you got other things to be preoccupied with than how many women that you fooling around with, because that's a human being who has a mindset, and whether you know it or not, an objective. And if that objective is not met, you're going to end up with women problems. You're going to end up with women problems.
Right.
You got to speak into the mic.
I'm 49, and I'm a one-woman man. I got my wife, and I'll tell you why. I'm not knocking you if you're not into what I'm into. Maybe you like a whole bunch of women. All I'm saying is me, I can only handle one woman. One spiritual being other than myself and my family. I'm not trying to go out there, because that when you think about all this other stuff, you're thinking about it. That's taking away mind work. I need mind work on other stuff besides sex at this point in life.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
I think that's why young boys have more problems with women, and why they have so many and why they like so many is because they spend more time screwing than they do talking. When you get older, you realize you only gonna fuck for so long, and then we gonna have to agree, and that's where the shit hits the fan. Besides what you are in your clothes, what kind of being are you? And in order to really connect with you, I'm gonna have to really focus on you, and I don't have the energy for 8 women, and that's not just physical, that's spiritual. I don't have the spiritual energy for 8 broads. I just don't.
Are we having a double standard here? Because it sounds like, part of what Bobby always talks about, the difference between a man and a male is, a lot of people think, I'm entitled to do what comes natural to me. Well, what comes natural to you is, animal instincts, and, animals will kill each other. And so the point is, maybe men are saying, well, we're hunters. A man is not a farmer, he's a hunter, and we're entitled to go after women. But now we're getting kind of all animated over the fact, well, what if a woman tries to play that? Maybe what it feels like to men is, but then we're out of control. We want women to be a certain way because, we like to be in control. But, are we guilty of a double standard here?
I think the bigger question, because that's a great thing, the double standard. I think the bigger question is, if a woman has multiple men in much the same fashion as men have multiple women, is she acting like a man? Right? Because some men believe that she's acting like a man. But if we go back in history, beyond, Greeks and Romans, we'll find that a matriarchy once existed. There are, what is the word for women who marry multiple men? I think polyandrous.
Polyandrous?
Yeah, there's polyandrous women who have multiple dudes. Is she acting like a man because she got multiple dudes? And are all her dudes little bitches because they're her men?
No. I think a woman will have a better chance at that, a way better chance, because they're way more organized. They can keep everybody in their right lane.
That is the truth. That is the truth. Right. Damn! You got the side chick rolling over in the wifey lane. She don't have that.
Yes. Wow. Hey, listen.
That's true.
We got to take a quick break. When we come back, the Zoe Up Morning Show will be back live on Radio V. That's Radio MTV. Give us a holler, 855-878-4652. I want to hear what you got to say about it. I see Twitter's on fire. I will be responding. We'll be back in a second.
Today, What is slut shaming? The issue of slut shaming has got a lot more publicity over the past year, thanks partly to highly publicized slut walk protests. But what exactly is it? Slut shaming refers to shaming a woman for being or appearing sexual. It comes from the outdated idea that women are not meant to show that they desire sex. It often means criticizing a woman for wearing clothing someone else might consider provocative, and it sometimes leads to blaming women for asking for it when they get raped. It's worth noting that you can slut shame someone without even using the word slut. And it happens so casually that it can happen to almost any woman or girl, regardless of whether she's had sex. Slut shaming is an example of a sexist double standard, in which men who enjoy sexual activity and seek it out are considered studs or playboys. Meanwhile, in addition to slut, there are a host of other negative terms applied to women in this situation. We need to stop slut shaming because it's toxic to people and our culture. It can damage self-esteem and change the way a person is viewed by her peer group. It limits women's choices for what they can wear and where they think they can go. Let's stop calling women sluts or other terms that criticize them for looking or acting sexual.
Did you see what Heather wore to Jake's party last night? Poor little slut. Don't you worry about adding too many notches to your belt? I don't wear belts. That's not what I mean. Like, how many people have you slept with, really? I don't know, like 10? How is this any of your business? I guess it's not, but you're definitely getting into trashy territory, Heather.
She don't give a fuck. Basically, she'll fuck anybody or anything. Dog, cat, gorilla, skunk, giraffe, alien, hippopotamus, probably shit we don't even know exists. She just want to get her freak on. She don't care if it's your boyfriend. She don't care if it's your uncle. She don't care if it's your daddy. She don't care if it's your brother. And she also don't give a fuck who knows. She thirsty for the dick. Or pussy, because, you know, a thought can be a lesbian, too. I'm telling y'all better walk around y'all school with a thought radar. Number 2, the emotional thought. Oh, sure, she gets attached quick. Say she loves you, put you all over her Facebook and her Instagram. Stick with you through thick and thin until it's over. The hour after y'all break up, that bitch already in another... That bitch already in another nigga. That bitch already in another... That bitch already in another nigga's... another nigga's bed. That bitch already in another nigga's bed. My bed. Fuck. That bitch already in another nigga's bed cuddling his dick. These hoes ain't loyal. Number 3, the cyber thought, or as I like to call it, social media thought. She'll flirt with your man on IG. They flirt with everybody. Oh, but only on the internet. All over your man's Facebook, everywhere. Shit, if they want him bad enough, they might even be on his old MySpace page. Yes, I love them girls. Every pic you see, they didn't like. Everything you tweet watched, they already tweet watched. Be on the lookout. Number 4, the ratchet thought. All I can say about them are, what the...
Well, it's a hella culture out here. And as a parent, you know, to teenagers, you gotta learn the language, decipher that shit, and then speak it to them in order to convey your message. I believe that's important, to speak their language, because kids have a way of disconnecting. You don't understand what I'm talking about, so I'm out. You know? And this is why I surround my oldest, and I'm trying to surround my youngest with a team of people who speak the same message I may speak, but they speak it in different languages. You got young cats around him, you got older cats around him, you got, you know, wise men, you got all type of hustlers, but they all got to speak the same objective that I'm trying to get across. You understand? There's some gangbangers on our block, and they all have been programmed by me to tell my son, hey, don't come over here. Don't even get involved. We rooting for you to do what you gonna do. So you're not welcome in our activities. You know what I'm saying? And they applaud him for that. I think sometimes that's important. But with this whole thought language, that's why I had that young kid on there trying to explain it. I just think modesty has a place, right? If you saw, and I'm not saying all the sisters got to be Muslim, but I'm using this as an example. If you see a sister dressed a certain way and you automatically know she's from the Nation of Islam, Are you going to come at her sideways? Are you going to come at her? Are you going to objectify her? I'm just talking about just the imagery.
Mm-hmm. Respect of her
Now,
and fear of them bow ties.
Right. The thing that fucks with me is the police a stereotype.
Right.
It's the way black kids dress. If he's sagging, if he whatever, if he got this, that, and the third, let's profile. And by the way, if he black or brown, let's profile. Right? To me, it seems like slut shaming is the same thing. They're dressed a certain way, they get profiled a certain way. So the feminists will say, no, we have the right to dress this way. And if but here's my thing. The brothers do the opposite. The brothers, the so-called African Americans, will say, no, you got to dress another way. Stephen A. Smith, no, you got to dress the way the system tells you to dress. Right? Or you're going to be profiled that way. Well, but the feminists say no. Amber Rose gets to say, I'm going to take this picture of me damn near butt-ass naked with some dental floss in my ass on the balcony, and this is a symbol of strength. It's catch-22.
The reality of it is like, look, there's certain things that go with certain things. Whether or not, if you have the right to dress like a slut, okay, yes, you do have that right. But do you want to do that? Because look, man, I never, ever will advocate or give props to a rapist. But does that mean just because I don't give them props that they don't exist? They exist. And when you lure in what they're looking for, if you're wearing what they're looking for, you're targeted.
See? Come on. That ass is fabulous. How are we supposed to act? What is the natural response to that? That's a yogurt factory. Of course I'm going to be drawn to it. Even Dr. G's little Woody has stood up at attention. And it ain't stood up at attention for many decades now.
That's Man, you put your ding-ding out there like that.
Your ding-ding.
About 6 months ago, I do these webinars, and I did a webinar to Saudi Arabia. So I was in my office, but this was I guess the capital of Saudi Arabia, and so all the women in the room had their their what do you call it? Their
burqa?
Yeah, burqas on. But in order to do the webinar, I had to sort of understand their culture. And when I asked the women, do you feel repressed? They said, no. They say, if you show more than what we're showing, you're going to be looked at and lusted after. And when guys lust at you, it's invasive. It doesn't turn you on at all.
Right.
It makes you. Well, I used the term before. It's almost like in their mind they're jacking off to you.
Mm-hmm. Lust is a sin, according to the religion of Islam. Lust is a sin, and lust has a way of clouding.
But not murder.
Right, exactly. Lust is a way of, murder is too. It just, there's conditions.
Between killing and murder.
Yeah, there's conditions there.
Okay.
But lust has a way of clouding your mind so you don't see clearly. And this is why in the Islamic religion or in the Abrahamic religions, they opt for the women to cover themselves. Because if I deal with a woman, I want to deal with who she really is and not what she's showing me, right? Or what, her breast or her body. Do you understand what I'm saying? I want to deal with the woman, not her body. And I think that's an important angle to modesty. And I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people want to paint a certain kind of picture that somehow says these women are oppressed. A lot of them are. But if you go back to the core teachings of Islam, it's about modesty. It's not about oppression. So how do we teach kids today, girls in particular, because how many times have any of you heard that the girls of this generation are faster than the boys?
Oh, you always hear that.
They ass is hotter than the boys.
I heard that when I was a kid. I heard that when I was a teenager. I heard it when I was a young adult. And I felt it when I was a parent.
You feel me?
I have daughters,
I hate to throw my son out there. Damn, I hate to.
Yeah.
but he's not a virgin anymore. And damn, I don't want to do it.
He's a basketball star.
Yeah, but he's not a virgin anymore, and he didn't. Well, I don't know.
Where do you think that for a lot of women, it's a way of their having power? I mean, when you can get a guy to just be focused on something, and you can kind of flirt with him and all that sort of stuff. You know, a lot of times, a lot of women don't feel they have that power out in the world. But boy, if they can turn a guy on and they see that he's staring at her and all that sort of thing.
Oh no, women are hella adept at using the flaws within our system to their advantage. I was in Arizona doing a lecture to these kids, single mothers who had these boys who were difficult to handle, and I was out there coaching, and one of the organizer's sisters said a quote to me, a term that women use. It was almost like looking behind the veil of femininity. And she said, "Oh yes, I flirt to convert." I said, "What the fuck is flirt to convert?" She said, "Well, if I want a guy to do something for me, I flirt to convert."
Oh, well, that's for soft dudes. That's for weak dudes.
I'm just saying. Speak on it.
Wrong. I disagree.
There's a lot of niggas who get flirted on.
I think that, to be honest with you, I think that is the way a lot of women get in. And hey, I'm not gonna say this wrong. If you can get somebody to look at you, get them to look at you. But what you do once they're looking at you is on you. Yeah. Now, if you come in, advertising I'm a slut, and you're really a nuclear physicist trying to get a job, that might get you the job. But then you can't stay the slut. You got to do the job. You got to be the nuclear physicist.
That's the problem.
It's a problem, but it's reality.
But now somebody wants to get head from the new nuclear physicist.
Guys, we've got a female on the line, and she's going to share with us. But before we go to her, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, Rita G is in the building.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We'll be back in 2.2.
Ugly girl, we can't wait to hear. This is a subject that is one that I cover a lot in forums, on Facebook, in conversation, and I think what's really, really bad and what's really got us all twisted here is the desire to pull equal. Ladies, we are not your equals. If a man is equal to you, you slipping. Okay, you're an elevated species. The double standards are there to protect you. I am so sorry that we are asking you to treat your wombs as a little different than we treat our penises. I'm sorry. I know you want to be you want to be special, and you consider yourself China, but you're treating yourself like paper plates. Have you ever been to somebody else's house? Have you ever been to a person's house and they got this big, beautiful china cabinet, and inside of it, it's just Solo cups, the plates from the picnic? No, because they set the good shit aside. Somewhere in you needs to be a part of you that wants to set a part of you aside. That's all we're saying. Okay? That's what I'm teaching my daughter. I'm not going to change that. With regard to flirting to convert, for one, that only works for dudes who suffer from what I like to call OPC syndrome, which is outside pussy chance syndrome. There are men who will paint your house, wash your car, watch your kids, neuter your dog, for the outside chance that they might one day get a whiff of your cooter. I refer to those dudes as suckers. You're a sucker if that's how you get down. With regard to flirting to convert, ladies, if you use your pussy as the big joker, you'll win a few hands, but you'll never win the big game. Ooh.
I'm not saying it shouldn't be in your hand. I'm not saying that ain't one of your cards. But if you can't play smart, and you can't play deep, and you can't play insightful, and you can't play useful, and you can't play resourceful, which should also be cards in your hand, you're going to find yourself missing cards and losing hands. Wow. I'm done.
That made sense.
That was a hell of a rant, Geoff. All right. I like that.
Every now and then.
We want to bring in Rita G. Rita G's on the line right now. Rita G, speak to us.
Hi.
Hey. We chilling. Chris, can you put up some pictures so we can feel like we talking?
So we can objectify her. Oh my God! Put up this. Oh God, she's horrible.
Alive.
We know Chris is the worst picture picker.
No,
you can't take no pictures you ain't took.
That's pretty modest.
That's very modest right here. Speak to us about it.
I missed you guys, so I had to call in and see what's happening.
Look at those bricks.
Geoff, stop it. Let her talk.
I was talking about the bricks.
You're not talking about the bricks.
I was talking about the bricks.
You're talking about the brick house.
How even the bricks are laid in the foliage.
Okay. Rita, speak to us about this topic.
Yes. Okay. Anything you want to ask me about it in particular?
Slut shaming. Do we do it? Okay. Do men slut shame women more than women slut shame other women? And no, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think a lot of people have answered that, and yeah, we know women are probably quicker to do it. But I do think that you can't really feel slut shamed unless you embrace it on some level. So, for example, I have nude pictures of myself on the internet and on Playboy and that kind of a thing. And to a lot of people, for that alone, I would be considered a thot or a slut or a porn star even. And but I don't feel shame that people think that because I just don't embrace that, you know. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think you can feel shame unless you embrace it.
Wow.
It ain't what they call you, it's what you answer to.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I do feel that, you know, women who are, you know, maybe they have a lot of partners and, maybe they've been a little groupie hoe or for a while or that kind of a thing, you know, they probably do feel shame on some level. And because of the shame that they feel, even if it's underlying, it prevents them from getting in touch with the real power of their pussies. And you know, because it's powerful. This thing brings forth life. You know, those breasts, they feed babies and really powerful things, you know. But if you're thinking that pussy power is just the power to bring a man to his knees, it's like, I don't know, that's just the wrong. It's not really.
But what do you think about what do you think about the double standard? Like when I did the research for, say, Amber Rose to do this show, I did the research, and she basically was saying, you know, we need to stop all of this slut shaming. But in effect, she turned around and slut shamed Kim Kardashian by saying the only reason why she's famous is because she fucked a gang of black guys. That's slut shaming, yeah?
I don't know, maybe she's.
That's why we can't really believe anything women say.
Yeah.
Jeff's wife.
You start no shit in my house, man.
That's weird. But, you know, the thing is, you know, do we have the right to dress a certain way? You know, yeah, I have the right to dress like a slut, but I don't particularly feel empowered by, you know, lust and lustful glances and all the harassment that comes with that. And then I think especially for the younger people, you know, when the younger girls who begin to dress like that, they don't really have the emotional maturity to know how to deal with the kind of attention and that's going to be directed at them, you know, as a result of that, you know. So like you were saying, I believe that there's virtue in modesty, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, that's something that I learned.
So really quickly, I'm going to ask Bobby a question. Stay on with us, Rita. Bobby.
I will.
Bobby, when the look started to change, because I know there was a time when sisters dressed a certain way, you know, in our communities. They dressed a certain way. right? When the look started to change, what was that like? I mean, I'm a young cat, so I was just participating in the change, I guess, because I didn't really recognize it from your generation.
It just fell
But
on
looking at today's generation, I mean, we got a whole generation of Instagrammers, Twitters, Snapchatters, and they quick to put take a picture of their ass while they sitting in the bathroom to show the world. What is that saying? What kind of message is that sending, Bobby?
It's not so much the message that they're sending, it's like you say, the difference. To this day, a woman that has a really nice body can put on a dress.
And it'll speak for her. Yeah.
And shut it down.
Yes.
Just shut it down, just walking by you. It's like transformative.
Right.
And a girl that's half naked, you done seen that so much, it's like, oh, there goes another girl buck naked. But a woman in a dress with that stride right,
yes,
oh
Lord.
my God,
Thank
the
you.
men all pause.
If Bobby's saying something big now, I gotta drill down on this.
See it every morning.
Bobby, are you telling me that the more flesh women show, that they run the risk of desensitizing us to their sexuality?
It ain't even desensitizing because it's objectifying.
Mm-hmm.
It's really what it is because that's an object. But that mystery component, and it's not really that mysterious, man, because we have a discerning eye. I mean, we see through that dress even though we don't see through that dress.
Yeah, you know how the light come through there? Yeah, that's that beautiful little...
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I miss those days.
Oh, Lordy, Lordy. Sorry,
It brings about the law of supply and demand. Okay? You're going to flood the market? You flooding the market with what you got, and now you've dropped its value. I think that so much of this comes from please, 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 please look at me. Please look at me. Please notice me. Please, 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 please. And that's a deficiency that reeks to Mr. Right. The dude you looking for?
He's not. You don't smell right.
You don't know. You'll catch him quicker if you cover up. You catch him quicker. I just firmly believe that a lot of here's
Geoff Brown's wife is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. She gonna sound way more coherent than this motherfucker.
That's hilarious.
This is a touchy subject.
Is morality dying for women?
I think it's suppressed, to be honest with you. I don't think it's, dying as a whole. I think it's very much suppressed. Women, I agree with Rita. We have the right to dress the way we want to, but keep in mind it comes with a price. And I don't think there's anything wrong with if you're confident enough to wear your clothes that way and you're confident enough to handle what comes along with it, have at it.
Can women charge us half the price for what comes along with it? No, because you don't. I didn't ask to be harassed. Remember that one video that was going around where the sister was the lady was just walking and everybody was catcalling, and then we found out that the whole shit was set up?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? That was on Facebook?
And half of them dudes didn't really even say nothing bad.
Right.
They said hi.
They were just saying hi, and then that got turned into harassment.
Yeah, that's what happens to compliments.
Most of them were just giving compliments. Oh, you're beautiful, you're pretty. Some of them walked with her. That's a little scary. That's a little creepy. But for the most part, it was just hi.
You know the difference between a harassment and a compliment, right? Denzel Washington and Olden Polonies. That's the difference.
Oh.
That's the difference. If
you saying Olden Polonies is ugly? That's my homie.
Well, come on. It's okay. Well, you tell me what I'm saying, since I'm wrong.
You're also missing the reality shows that are out right now that are perpetuating this, Real Housewives. All of those ladies are supposedly wealthy. They're sexually, out there with their attire, and they have become like the icons for a lot of young women on how to dress, how to act rude and lewd. And they are the ones that a lot of these shows are really dictating how a lot of women are presenting themselves, especially young girls. And they're getting the attention, they're getting the the men that have
It's like
affluence.
it's like that hip hop show. What is it? I don't know what the hip hop show is. But it's not Love and Hip. I think it is Love and Hip Hop. I don't watch it, but all I know is the opportunity now is we're gonna get this stripper. What's her name? I forgot the girl's name. She's a stripper, right? Supposed to be this. I think she's from Houston. You might know who she is. Real small little breasts, but real big juicy booty. What's her name? No, it's not that. What's Johnny? Johnny Blaze. Back in my day, a stripper was just a stripper. Just that's old girl at the spot clapping her butt cheeks.
Ain't nobody mad at her.
Nobody's upset.
That's what she do.
But nobody was trying to wife that. Nobody was trying to date that situation. No disrespect. I'm just saying.
I'm just not going to take you more serious than you take you.
Right. It was just you on the pole. That's what you do. And it wasn't like if I want to see some nudity, I go see you, right? Or I go see my girl if I have a girl. It was now. This girl is on TV. She's a TV star.
What is she doing?
She's a star now.
What is she doing?
Oh, she's trying to rap. She's trying to sing. She's even done a little porn.
She's famous for being famous.
So she got a couple of fights. I mean, now this is the material and the quality of entertainment. No disrespect to her, but if we look at it in terms of consciousness, I'm gonna say something that don't even seem like it's a part of the conversation. Jazz music?
Oh, that's her right there.
That's her. Jazz music? It's the most advanced form of music in the world. But it doesn't sell more than hip-hop. Because the dumber the shit, the bigger the hit. The more complex, motherfuckers disconnect. I don't know what that is. I don't understand chord changes and progressions. What the fuck is Miles Davis doing? This shit is just a nigga blowing wind through a horn.
And he didn't give me no words, so now my thoughts aren't anchored to anything, and my thoughts aren't anchored to themselves.
Right. So now the lower quality is the biggest star. We got to take a break. When we come back, Bobby G got points. Holla!
So what is slut shaming? It's when we call women sluts, whores, hoes, skanks, thoughts. It's implying that they're dirty or used up for having sex, or even being perceived as too sexual. Meanwhile, guys are the main for doing the same thing. Slut shame is hurled mostly at women, a lot of the time by women. It's the idea that there are good girls, proper, classy, innocent, and there are bad girls, trashy, out of line, too sexual. To punish girls who are bad, we shame them, and even go so far as to blame them if someone chooses to sexually violate them. Amber Rose started the whole shebang off by criticizing 25-year-old rapper Tyga for allegedly leaving his fiancée to date 17-year-old Kylie Jenner. Chloe, who's Kylie's older sister, then took to Twitter to point out that Amber was a stripper when she was 15, and that at 17, Kylie actually has her shit together. Amber fired back, highlighting Chloe's hypocrisy, that as a teen, yeah, she may have profited off her body for her family, but Kim basically does the same for hers. Shots have been fired. Now this is slut shaming 101, women attacking each other's reputation. In a world where women are told that their sexual appeal is the most important thing about them, it should come as no surprise that they try to tear each other down in order to feel superior. Instead of addressing the merits of criticizing an underage relationship, the question became, who's the bigger slut? Kim or Amber? Then comes Kanye West injecting his unwanted opinions, stating that he had to take 30 showers before he could sleep with Kim, implying that Amber is dirty and Kim is clean. And here's where we change the conversation. Feminist mama Amber then posted more sexy pics on Instagram calling out the slut shaming and announcing that she's organizing her own slut walk protest. Girl don't give a f. Now, if you haven't heard of them, the slut walks are an international march held to protest the mentality that sexual women are sluts and that sluts are asking to be raped.
That wasn't the biggest bombshell of the night. Amber told Entertainment Tonight that she feels as though she was slut-shamed by her ex, Kanye West, after he told reporters Kim made him take 30 showers before getting it on so he could wash Amber off of him. Amber said she deals with that kind of shaming from social media and everyday life and doesn't understand how she gets comments like that when they were happy while she and Yeezy were together. As a way of responding to the remarks, Amber has decided to have an Amber Rose slut walk in the summer in LA. And in the following years, she'd like to have it in Chicago, Miami, and...
This is what I want to do. This is what needs to happen. Women, what do they call them? Feminazis?
Yeah.
Like, feminism is the mafia for women. And anybody with an agenda always dabbles in propaganda. I bet my life a man did not create the term slut shaming.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
Because we don't shame y'all. Not really.
Listen. Yeah. We do a little bit now. Let us be real. Man, you saw that man? That man. That reverend. You're a hoe. According to Jesus, have you had, have you fornicated?
They're not the dudes that's walking around, okay? I'm talking about walking around dudes. The problem is that women who are sexually as active as men want to be taken serious by the same pool of men. That's not going to happen.
And then it goes back to my concept of narrative. If this is a patriarchy and we wrote the woman's narrative,
okay,
then you're going to have an uphill battle changing our mind about what a slut is. Right? Okay. Right? Like, you put that picture back up there of Amber Rose. You're going to have a hard time changing our perception of this if we see that as stripper paid pussy.
Okay.
Right? Like, nobody's wife is looking like that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is,
in public,
whose wife is coming out like that?
Okay, exactly. Here's what I'm saying.
The divorce rate would be 1% if the wives were looking like that.
I got a definition of hoe that's hard to argue. Is our girl is Gina still on the phone? Rita, I'm sorry, Rita. You still here?
I do have something to say.
Yes,
too.
ma'am. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say that, there's a certain type of man or man of a certain value, and he generally just doesn't want something that somebody else can have, especially the average man. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Thank you. He wants.
That was big.
He wants a chalice. He don't want the red cup.
Yeah. Well, it just has more value. So, women, there's a way to carry yourself and portray an image of portraying yourself that will be perceived as you having more value.
Listen really quickly.
Yeah.
I have a sister who's a feminist that follows me on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
She says we're using violent and rapey words.
Well, this is a violent and rapey society.
Right? And again, I think this is the problem. This is the sister, I spoke with her. She's a good sister. But again, I always say...
What she look like?
It doesn't matter.
Yes,
she's a good... What I'm saying is... She is. She's a good sister.
We'll keep going then.
She's a good sister. But the problem is, I say whatever your belief is, whatever your fervent belief is, that's your religion. And you defend it as such. You defend it like a zealot. Whatever you believe. I don't give a fuck if you believe in the devil. Whatever you believe, like to that level, it becomes like it has a religious passion. Feminism is a fucking religion for a lot of women. And wherever there is this blind passion, objectivity is lost.
Out the window.
You can't see what people... Oh, the words are rapey. Okay. Well, that doesn't mean there's rapists in the building.
No, we don't.
We use the king's language. You want us to use the queen's language, and we will not. Now, to speak even deeper to it, she brought something to my attention about how feminists are now attacking... This is why I asked you to say, to give the difference between woman and female. She told me we shouldn't even use the word female because it's disrespectful to women.
Okay.
She said because there's females of all species. We, however, are women. So now if you Google it, it's a big fucking campaign. So to me, feminism is the new Joan of Arc.
I can't take
And instead of one Joan of Arc, it's an army of Joan of Arcs which create all of these visions of God of what they should be fighting against. Now they're fighting against the word female. Can't use female now.
Can I?
The fuck is going on?
May I? All right, I have a definition, and I'm wondering, my wife present, the sister on the phone, and the sister that's tweeting in, if you tell me if you have a problem with this. This is my definition of a hoe. It is any woman who has willfully, knowingly slept with more than one member of an immediate family.
Wow, that's tough.
On purpose. Slept with more than 2 dudes in any particular group. You know, 2 Qs in the same chapter, the dude in the mailroom and the dude that works behind you at the office.
What if she's just sexually empowered?
Wait. Or more men than her age in the same square mile radius of her home.
Oh, God.
Does anybody have a problem with that definition? And if so, can that woman marry your son?
He's not being rhetorical.
I'm not being rhetorical. What do you think of that?
Let's ask the women. Rita?
I think that's a general guideline. You know, that works as a general guideline.
We can agree that those are hoes. Can we agree that those are hoes? Girls that go, I'm going to fuck Dave and Dave's brother. Okay? I'm gonna fuck the dude in the mail room, and I'm going to fuck the dude in the copy room. On purpose.
And Geoff, you bring up a great point.
And I'm going to fuck 50 niggas around my house, and I'm only 37.
You bring up a great point. Here's the question. What are the unassailable grounds for being a bona fide hoe?
That's it.
What are... And you know who? Men can't answer that. Let's have the women answer that. What are the unassailable bona fide grounds for hoedom?
Well, first let's establish that hoes exist, because a lot of y'all don't know. Do they exist? Do Rita, do hoes exist?
Yes.
Okay, now let's define what they are, and I'm done.
So Rita and Geoff's wife will take over the show.
Absolutely.
You first, Rita.
Okay, well, just real simply, I think it's closer to what Bobby was saying earlier. Women who are just trying to find their identity through who they're sleeping with a lot of times, you know?
That would be a hoe.
Yeah, they're looking for an identity versus like a real bona fide hoe. I mean, it's strictly a transaction. She's not emotionally invested or anything like that. Wow. But I think a hoe is more operating out of insecurities where she's, you know, trying to find her identity through different guys that she's fucking.
I have to co-sign with her.
You gonna co-sign?
I have to co-sign with her. I love the transaction term, Rita. That's dope. I have to say, you know, my definition of, you know, a woman being a hoe is very close to my husband's. It's just being willy-nilly with your stuff. I mean, not having any regard for it, any respect for it, giving it out like candy, and
like peanuts at Padre Stadium.
There's a sister on Twitter. Her name is Camille H. She says, the same way black people can internalize racism, some women can internalize misogyny. That's an interesting angle. Some women internalize misogyny. You understand what I'm saying? I think at the end of the day, to ask women to be more modest. Let's just say we live in an insane society. A lot of people don't want to admit that it's insane. What's that book, the DMSR? Is that what it is?
DSM.
DSM? You motherfuckers I'm blaming you. You motherfuckers.
You say the DMSR? That's a Prince song.
Yeah, that's the dance music sex romance. That's what it meant. The DSM, right? You guys took, what is it? Narcissism out of the DSM, right?
Because everybody has it.
Because everybody has it. This is an insane fucking society. So, if this is an insane society, right, why do women want us to treat them in some kind of sane way when the world is crazy? So I get to be naked and you still got to treat me sanely. Can we deal? I'm butt-ass naked. You don't get to respond in an animalistic way because you're childish and immature. Don't look at these fucking nipples. Keep your fucking eyes here. What? Come on, we got to take a quick break. We'll be back in a second. What kind of bullshit?
They called me a slut, and I was like the running joke I was the running joke at work, and because of that, I didn't say anything. I'm making this video because there are women that speak out about experiences that have happened to them, about their rape experiences, and time and again, everyone tells them, well, it was your fault. You shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done that. No, can we stop telling girls that they shouldn't get raped and instead tell men to stop fucking raping women and to stop taking advantage of women? And I mean, you see it all the time. Most recently, there was a young woman who was 11 years old. I think it was in Texas. She was gang raped by 20 guys, 11 years old. New York Times writes a story about it, and for some reason the story continues to focus on how much makeup this young woman wore, how late she stayed out, and how grown up and sexily she dressed. She was 11, and 20 guys raped her, and somehow it's her fault. I will put the link in the video description box because you need to read it to believe it. You could be the perfect person and still get raped, and it would not be your fault. The same way you could make tons of bad decisions and engage in risky behavior on a daily basis, and if someone rapes you, it is the rapist's fault, not yours. I wish someone had said that to me. I wish I had had someone that told me that wasn't my fault and that I should speak up. My camera stopped like in the middle. It was like, you've said enough.
I actually feel bad for him because you think that guy doesn't masturbate? He masturbates like crazy, okay? Like he's probably masturbating right now as we're speaking, and then right afterwards,
he's probably masturbating to this video,
right?
Which would be,
and right after he does it, he feels terrible about himself, right? Yeah. He thinks he's gonna go to hell, and you know what? That's fucking awesome, okay? Because if that's the kind of stuff that you're gonna be preaching, if you're gonna make people feel guilty about natural behavior, I hope you feel really shitty about yourself when you're trying to live a normal life, right?
Jimmy, is God watching you masturbate?
I hope so, because, I'm talking to him while I do it. So, before he used to stand in the middle of campus and yell that you deserve rape, little people didn't know that he used to stand in traffic with his dick out for attention. So now he just switched. Yeah. Because that's all this is. This guy, he's got a mental problem. Like, he's like that Kirk Cameron. Like, what happens that you snapped? And it's the sex thing and all these like that becomes, like he goes, I decided I was going to preach against it. That's the thing you're going to preach against? Why wouldn't you preach against, I don't know, homelessness? Why wouldn't you preach against inequality? Why wouldn't you preach against war? Why wouldn't you preach against rape? Why wouldn't you preach against abuse? Why wouldn't you preach against injustice? But you you want to go preach about something that has nothing to do with anything. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're reading a 2,000-year-old magic book, and you're putting rude stuff on and that's what, because Jesus said they'll know us by our actions. Yes, when you run around and slut shame and tell people they deserve to be raped, that's exactly what Jesus would do. So I dislike that Vice did a documentary.
So it's a complex topic, and wherever there's complexity, to me, the danger to complexity is black and white thinking. Or the danger to gaining understanding from that complexity is black and white thinking. And like I was saying before, feminism, just like heminism, right? Heminism would be the patriarchy. Oh, the evil patriarchy, right? Christianity does not work without the devil. Yeah. Islam does not work without the devil. You gotta have a bad guy. But whenever you have a bad guy, you also run the risk of righteousness, self-righteousness. Whenever a motherfucker is self-righteous, he doesn't understand alignment. All he understands is, that's wrong, this is right. And I'm saying, feminism or heminism, so the women don't think I'm just picking on them, turns into this imbalanced kind of crusade. So I'm watching Twitter. Twitter's on fire, right? I'm watching Twitter. It's crazy. Violence against women. Well, women are violence against men, too. If you do the research objectively and not from let me put my shades on to illustrate the point, right? This is feminism. I'm looking through a filter now. If I look at the stats through the filter, I'm looking for stats that justify my positionality. That's a word. Please look it up. And some people are like, well, I never heard of it. Right? So my point is, do the research and take off the shades of your perspective. This could be Christianity, this could be Islam, this could be feminism, this could be himinism. Take off the glasses and look objectively.
Absolutely.
And if you get objective on it, you're going to see that violence is pervasive in all relationships. And I mean from little babies punching each other in the face because somebody took a rattle or a pacifier, don't matter the gender, all the way up to the elderly. So now that we see that violence in relationships is pervasive, is ubiquitous, now let's come back and say, who's the most violent? Well, the stats clearly state
white males,
women. Oh. The only reason why they put more emphasis on men is because when men snap, we break shit on women. Impact. Our impact.
Oh, that thing, okay.
Right? Conflicts Tactics Survey. Look it up yourself. The CTS survey. Conflict Tactics Survey. Clearly illustrates slapping, kicking, punching, spitting, throwing things. Women. Women. How many times you gonna get slapped, kicked, punched, spit on, and some shit thrown at you before you snap? Now, they're starting to understand that the emotional component to violence, that women are the perpetuators of that, more so than men. What men are snappers. This is why I always tell women, I just ask a basic question. And the ladies that are here, Rita G?
Yeah?
Here's the question. Does every human being have a breaking point?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So why would you have an unrealistic expectation that your man should not? Okay. And most women who respect men know the line and don't want to push him over there. Bobby, and then Jeff.
The lady that was on the second episode, she admitted that she had, when she was 18, she got raped after getting shit-faced to the point where she didn't even remember getting raped. Then she came back and said she had nothing to do with her getting raped, even though she was surrounded by so-called friends who allowed all that thing to play out there, and they played the tape back to her basically and said, yeah, you had a wonderful time until you tapped out. Then you come back and say it was not your fault. That's like walking out into the middle of oncoming traffic and getting ran over. Of course, the person that ran over you had some responsibility in it, but you're the one that walked out there into that traffic. So sometimes we have to really do simplify some of this stuff, and some of it is your fault.
I will say this. A man should not try to have sex with an inebriated girl.
Absolutely.
That's fucking beyond comprehension.
Absolutely. That's not.
I will say that. I wouldn't feel like a man getting a piece of ass when she's
rape is rape.
When she's in REM.
She did not have to put herself in a position where she was surrounded by so-called friends that allowed her to get that drunk, or she allowed herself to get that drunk, and then be put into that situation. She should not have been raped. Absolutely not. But the likelihood of that happening, she has some responsibility.
Jeff?
I think women generally, to make a sweeping generalization, women are most guilty of this. It is possible to provoke what it is you do not deserve. You can have a hand. I sincerely don't deserve to die in a fiery ball of flame today. But if I take my car, hauling ass through Mulholland Drive, and my brakes happen to go out, there's two things there that point to me. Okay, I can't blame the hill. The hill was already there. I can't blame the curve was already there. Dude, you didn't service your car, and you took your unserviced car too fast and provoked what you didn't deserve. I don't see how it's possible to not see that unless you just put blinders on to any level.
Let the women speak.
Absolutely.
Rita?
I just said absolutely. Women have to recognize that it's very easy to get yourself in a compromising situation.
See, you're in a compromising situation with the picture right now.
can handle it.
Right.
Jesus.
Well, I'm going to just give you another even example. You know, when I was young and I was a student in school, I was a very good student. I would be a teacher's pet. And as my way of returning the energy, I would always compliment my teachers and just say things to put a smile on their face. But because I had female body parts, it was perceived as flirting. And then I had one of my teachers that invited me to his log cabin, you know, for the weekend. And then I was like, Mr. Thibodeau, you know I'm only 17, you know.
Damn, Mr. Thibodeau,
So I realized
head coach of the
I
Chicago
learned
Bulls now.
like, you can't play with everybody like that, you know.
Right.
Just put him out there.
Mr. Thibodeau.
It's scary for me to be so kind and nice because I learned that guys take certain things as flirting. And then imagine if I'm dressed in nothing. That's like saying, yeah, please fuck me. I want it.
Wow, watch your tone.
Thinking?
Shit.
I'm about to say, you need watch that. Because we don't know when you don't mean it.
Right. You cannot play with these guys out here.
At all.
You'll find yourself in a compromising situation.
I want to throw a different angle in here because I do that sometimes. Do you think that with all this instant celebrity look at me thing, that people who feel like anybody feel like nobody, and nobody hurts? And so when the world makes you feel like you're just anybody and you feel like nobody because of it, you will get desperate to be somebody. And so you will do things to try and so what happens, so I'm going back to what Zoe said, the word modesty. I mean, modesty sounds, it's a nice word, but it sounds like prude. You're willing to be invisible. You're willing to be overlooked. What, are you crazy? I mean, you'll get ignored.
Not during these times.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yes.
I feel like with Instagram, Instagram is a way of the average person being able to feel like a celebrity while being their own paparazzi, in a sense.
Wow.
Oh, that's and also in the past, maybe it was the double standard, but the man got to be the somebody, and the woman was supposed to be, you know, supportive of that. And I can see what women are saying is, why should I be supportive of it? I mean, I can't depend on him. He's let me down so many ways. So if he gets to be somebody, I'm not going to support his somebody. Maybe two can do this, and so I'm going to be somebody. And there's something really intoxicating about being somebody, and there's something awful about being nobody. And I think it can drive people to, you know, do a lot of this extreme type of stuff. So does that make any sense to anybody?
No, that's good stuff. Freez Luv?
I just want to say...
Speak in the mic. You got to speak in the microphone.
I just want to say also, if you could just identify a rapist as being a rapist, yeah, he's a man, but don't say men do this and men. No, a rapist is
does
out there.
that.
A rapist does that. Yeah. Men, we're not. You know what I'm saying? Let's focus on what it is, because a real man, the men that are here right now, we don't like rapists. Because we don't kick it with rapists.
You saying something huge. You know, if we walked out this building right now, and we saw a girl getting attacked by a dude, what is your natural inclination?
I'm going to stop him. I'm going to snatch him and stomp him. Why? Because you're broken, my man. You have broken everything of being a man. You don't take from women, especially that. You're not a part of our society. So don't say men do this and men do that. It's a rapist. Understand that there are rapists in this world. Understand that you can wear certain things to trigger these rapists. The rapists are out there.
They're sick.
They're
by
sick
definition,
people,
right, Doc? They're sick.
They're wolves. Stop hanging your meat out.
Wow. God damn. Okay, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, final thoughts. We're going to promote this So What morning show relationship dismount book tour. Only 18 days left. I'm telling you guys, I'm in trouble. We only got 11%. I need your help. Get at us. Indiegogo. We'll be back at 2.2. We are a society. Here we come, guys. So, we're back for the final thought. Geoff Brown said something incredible. I have to give him credit for it. He said, you can't ask for more respect than you give yourself, ladies and men, right? And men. You cannot ask for more respect than you give yourself. Feminine energy or feminine modesty, to me, is the polar opposite yet equivalent of masculine restraint. Let that resonate. Feminine modesty is the equivalent or the polar opposite of masculine restraint. Because if you understand the social game rules in which we live in, to put yourself out there looking like something you're not, because this is a stereotypical world. This is why bullshit television shows are so popular. I'm going to put a stereotype out there, make it a star. Now I got your mind focused on this type of archetype, right? Hell, Cops couldn't have been a hit show unless the producer made the genius idea or the genius discovery. They're not going to watch my show if I'm going arresting white-collar executives, white men like Bernie Madoff. If that's the Cops television show and I'm going in, walking, it's boring. Could you leave your office, please? You're under arrest. Sure, after I close this deal. Hold on a second. That's not a good TV show. So the stereotype of we should all be in fear of the angry black thug that's running around sells the Cop TV show. We live in a stereotypical black and white society. This is why you see a black president not polarize a country. The country was already polarized. By putting him in the position, showed you the fucking line that separates everybody. By having a black president, it showed you racism was on point and alive and well and at attention. Right when you claimed it was a post-racial society because he's in office. It showed you the deep divisions. We live in a black and white society. Sisters, women in general, you don't control your narrative, just like black people don't. You want to write a new narrative? You need to understand what the repercussions of that new narrative is going to be. If your narrative says, I get to be butt naked, but you got to respect me. Well, you may have written that narrative, and that narrative may have changed you, but it hasn't changed the institutionalized mind that is observing you. Right? So as it stands, feminine modesty equals masculine restraint. I see you in a certain way because of the black and white thinking I have. A woman dressed a certain way requires respect, deserves a woman dressed and I can see her meat wallet. That means I'm closer to the meat wallet. The more layers of clothes, the further I am away from the meat wallet. That's just black and white thinking. You can't expect a whole society to be somehow evolved enough to say, no, you are to renounce her meat wallet. It is not out for the taking. It is simply on display. You're not playing the game right. Get hold of yourself, man. Like, this is not how it works. Now we have to evolve to a different space. I have more thoughts. As long as you are at war, and this is any ideology, as long as any ideology is at war with the human condition, you'll always have an enemy. As long as you're at war with the human condition, you'll always have an enemy. Feminism is at war with the human condition that makes up masculinity. Men in general, without your filter, behave a certain way. You seem to think because you wrote the feminist narrative that we're going to somehow change? Well, maybe politically, economically, because niggas on the surface, men have been lying for years now. Oh yeah, the best way to get something from a woman is to lie to her with your behavior. I stand behind you, sister. Feminism all the way. I'm a male feminist.
And I stand behind you so I can see the view of your bottom.
Exactly. Black and white thinking is the real devil. Context is always lost in black and white thinking. And context is the conduit to understanding. We're not going to get it unless we bring black and white into gray and we see the different subtleties and nuances of both sides of the argument, the value in it and the fucking fat in it. But if you're coming from the positionality that you're right, that's why I was arguing with the feminist sister. I said, why? What do feminists want? We want equality. Then you should be fighting for equality for all, not just for women. You're in the army of equality. So let's fight for equality for all. Equality, racism, sexism, ageism, classism. Let's fight for that. But then when it just turns into a singular, I'm just fighting for women, then women have to have a devil. And what is the polar opposite of a woman but a man? It was the feminist who came up with the concept of the disposable man. I guess that's still in alignment with your original, right? Your original pursuit, which was equal pay. You went from equal pay to we don't need this motherfucker at all. Come on. Come on. There's some women out there that are like, this is some bullshit. I ain't with that. I like dick. There's women out there who like dick, who like male interaction, right? Who respect masculine energy in its true form. With that said, rape is disrespectful to men too. With that said, abuse is a part of the human condition that both men and women are trying to evolve from. First off, the frontal lobe of your brain is brand new, evolutionary speaking, right? It's brand new. Still trying to learn how to work this motherfucker. With that said, that's my final thought. I want to turn that music off. We got time. Turn that music off. You making me think, well, I ain't got time. I got time, goddammit. With that said, this nigga here, you put this motherfucker behind the Star Trek Enterprise, he flying to the house. Nigga, we trying to go to a star base. Anyway, with that said, that's my final thought. Bobby, you got to get Real Men Don't Play. And also, a lot of people have reached out to Bobby for this Kangen water. It's the real deal. Me and my boy, my son, the young lion, we've been drinking this shit for 2 years, and it's the real fucking deal. Bobby, where did it contact you for this Kangen water, man?
At Glanton-Smith on Twitter. Just email me, bobby@realmendon'tplay.com. Change your water, change your life.
Awesome. Yo, with the Baggers, what's happening?
The Baggers Collective, April 1st, which is 2 days from now, Wednesday, at the Pasadena Ice House. Come see my man Geoff Brown. Come see... Anyway, so there's going to be some other people. Oh, he's been talking to me. You're going to see Zoe Williams' bag. I'm going to make sure of it. Because he's an awesome bagger.
They have no idea.
They have no idea. No idea. And also download my free app, Freez Luv. You can get it from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
And Dr. G brought in a bunch of books. Get Out of Your Own Way. Get Out of Your Own Way at Work. I love this sister right here, Michelle Alexander. The New Jim Crow. These are all heavy hitters. Of course, you got to get Just Listen.
Great book.
Doc, what else do you have going on? Really quickly, we got to roll.
Well, if you tune in to KBC at 7:90 at 3:30 today, I'll be talking about the guy who crashed the plane.
Oh, wow.
No, it's on the John Phillips show. So it'll be 3:30.
Geoff Brown.
Go to mittags.com to find out all the crazy mess that I am doing. A book, Jeff's Brownies, coming soon.
So now, you got to get to the Zoe Up Morning Show and Relationship Dismount book tour. You got to get there on Indiegogo. Like I said, we only have 17 days left. We're only 11% funded. Listen, we're not going to be able to do what we said we were going to do, and I'm a little disappointed by it, but I need your help. So get there, Indiegogo, Zoe Up Morning Show and Relationship Dismount book tour. Please support the movement. We're going to put out this new relationship breakup book, and we're going to try to support it with a book tour. Get with me and let me know. All right? Deuces. Zoe's out. We'll holla next week.